Bubba. Pudgey. Oh, you can't have that. You can't have that. You can't. Okay. Okay. Hello, friends, and happy spooky season. Spooky season, cozy season, hoa hoa season, whatever your vibe is. Welcome back. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Beth. This is my boy Pudgey. I live in Hawaii. I rescue animals and I make videos to help shelter pups, like this boy right here, find their forever homes. And while most of my videos are about doggies and cats and bunnies and all kinds of animals trying to get out of shelters, one of my other loves is reading. And I did a little summer reading video of some of my favorite summer reads. And I thought it would be fun to do one for spooky season because this is truly my favorite time of year. I love fall and winter. I know that that's odd for a lot of people. Hey, what you doing? What you doing? That's not yours. That's not yours. But for me, I love it. I love the coziness of it. I love the magic of the fall and winter season. And so I'm going to share with you some of my favorite spooky season reads. My top pick, my number one contender for spooky season read that has not been knocked out of first place yet is The Last House on Needless Street. I know that a lot of people fell in love with The Silent Patient. I know that it was a phenomenon on Book Talk, on the internet. It took the world by storm. Dare I say, I like The Last House on Needless Street more than The Silent Patient. This book is so captivating. It is interesting. It is dynamic. I guess I should preface a little bit more about what it's about. So this is the story of a woman who goes to live in this small town and she's trying to solve a mystery, basically. But the story is told from multiple different perspectives. And what really sold me on it before I even picked the book up was that one of the perspectives is from the view of the house cat. And I don't want to say too much more. What I will say is that I am somebody who reads a lot of mystery. I read a lot of horror. I've read those books since I was young. I watch a lot of horror movies. Blindsided. Absolutely did not see it coming. And I think that that's really impressive when an author can bring something new enough to the table that someone who's really knows a genre very well is still surprised by it. So clap for that, because it's still one of my favorite reads. I love it. If you like cozy season but you're not a big fan of the creepy, but you still like a good mystery, I love the series The Secret Book and Scone Society. I fell in love with these stories a few years back now, and they are centered around this woman, Nora, who is in a really horrible car accident and essentially starts her life over after this accident happens. And she does it by moving into this cute, quirky little small town and opening a bookstore, which is, the dream of many of us girlies. But the story is about so much more than that. It's about, new beginnings and also the bonds of friendship and the power of women. And it's just a really lovely, cozy series. And even though the books take place in different seasons, I actually don't quite remember which season the initial book takes place in, but I don't feel like it matters because they're so inviting and comforting and lovely. Like, one of the characters in the story, she's a baker, and she makes something called comfort scones, which are scones that are custom made to each person. And she bakes flavors into it that would be specifically comforting for that individual person, which just, come on. How can that not make you feel warm and fuzzy and happy and cozy inside just thinking about that? So highly recommend that series. The first book is literally just called The Secret Book and Scone Society. He wants to show you his new baguette. Look at this. I couldn't resist getting that for him. Hi, you want to play a little bit? Okay. I play with you. The third book on my favorite spooky season read list is actually one that I just read and finished this year, and I think I just finished it a couple of days ago. But it is The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, which, again, come on. It's so cute and cozy. And this was a book that literally I was at the store wanting to pick up the Gingerbread Bakery, which will be on my Christmas reads list. But it wasn't there yet, and wanted a book so badly, and I saw that one on the shelf, and literally the cover just drew me in. The title drew me in. I think I very briefly read the back, but I was just like, you know what? I'm going for it because it was on sale, and I was pretty certain that I was gonna like it. So this is a really cute story about a witch named Sarah Swan, and it's kind of about, I don't want to say coming of age because she's not like a teenager. I guess it's about like finding yourself and learning that you hold value beyond what your skills are or what people think your value lies in. And there's a little bit of love, there's a whole lot of quirkiness, there's a whole lot of funk and whimsy and romance, and just like, I guess if you were to take a setting like Gilmore Girls, like if you're one of those people that loves those Gilmore Girls style stories, if you were to take that and sprinkle some magic into it, you would get A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. And I know that this author has other books that I think might have come out before this one that I haven't read, because if you've been here before, you know I never read anything in order. But anyway, I highly recommend it. It is a new read for me, but love it, love it, love it, love it. It is so cute and sweet and cozy, and just a great read. Okay, the fourth book that I'm recommending to you is sort of a part of a series, but I'm recommending them out of order again, and that is Tales from the Hinterland. This is a book of fairy tales, but not cutesy fairy tales. These are not your Disney fairy tales. Ugh. Sorry about that. I had to pause for the construction noise. So these are not your Disney fairy tales. They're not cutesy. They don't have happy endings. They're very like Brothers Grimm, OG, spooky, dark, scary fairy tales. My personal favorite from this series is Twice Killed Catherine, which, if that title gives you any indication of more about the stories, but they're all really good. They definitely take you back to that dark forest haunted cabin kind of vibes. And when I say this is a series, so Tales from the Hinterland is actually a book within a book. And the first book is called The Hazelwood, which is also on this list. I also highly recommend The Hazelwood. It is a story about a girl who's starting to realize that fairy tales are coming to life around her. And I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to give away anything else. But Tales from the Hinterland is a book that exists within the Hazelwood story. And that is where I first fell in love with this series, with this landscape, with the setting and these characters. And I also highly recommend that one. And so I think that what happened was that people loved the Hazelwood so much, and the concept of these stories, that the author decided to create Tales from the Hinterland. So I highly recommend that book. Obviously, it's in this video. I probably should stop repeating that. You guys know that I'm recommending these books. But anyway, if you're wanting something that's a spooky, quicker read, or you want something that can maybe last you the whole season because you can read like one story a night maybe during October, that could be a good one for you. Book number 5, or I guess 6 if I'm counting the Hazelwood, is The Night Circus. This is not a new book. I know that at one point it was also taking the internet by storm, but it continues to be one of my top favorites for in general, but specifically for the fall season. And it is centered around two dueling magicians. Magicians? I don't know if I'm saying that right. I feel like it sounds weird when I say it. But, anyways, two dueling magicians who both have different ideas of the best way to teach someone magic. And they essentially create this ongoing duel over their lifetimes to kind of try to prove who's better. And they both do it by adopting apprentices who they use their methods of teaching to teach magic to, and then those people end up dueling. Anyways, so that's the base of the story, and this particular duel takes place in this place called the Night Circus. And it's just really fanciful, whimsical, magical. it's not scary, it's not spooky, but it does feel cozy, a little mysterious. And I think it's just, it gives you that warm vibe of just wanting to sip some warm hot cocoa and snuggle up with a blanket and your candles on and just read the night away. Or maybe go to the circus. I could not have a spooky season book list without including Practical Magic. Come on, it is a classic. It is a spooky season classic. It is my favorite fall movie, and it's also one of my favorite books of all time. So, Practical Magic is centered around two sisters, and there is a curse on their family that has been there for many, many generations against men who fall in love with one of the women in this family. And it is a kind of, again, a kind of a coming of age story, but it's also, about sisterhood and family and love and the bonds that keep us together. And it's all, again, woven together with a beautiful sense of magic and whimsy and Pudgey. Total side note, I'm thinking about dressing up this year, and I'm thinking about being Red Riding Hood and having this guy right here be my wolf. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Yeah? Oh, he's so handsome. He's so handsome. This next read is spooky, but in a quieter, more silently sinister way, and that is Recipe for a Perfect Housewife. So, this is a 1950s story. It's about a woman who is a housewife living in the 1950s with her husband. And what I find so fun about this book is that there are little recipes sprinkled throughout, like actual authentic 1950s recipes from 1950s cookbooks. And so that's fun to read. And I feel like the story, even though it is quieter, it moves at a really good pace. I never felt bored when I was reading it. I was always kind of intrigued to see what was going to happen next. And yeah, there's definitely a spooky undertone to it. I'm not going to tell you anything else because, again, I don't want to ruin the story for you. But I think this would be a fun read for anybody who likes a good fiction sort of mystery type of book, but maybe doesn't want anything too hardcore scary. This next book is also a newer one that I just read this season and literally just finished last night. And it is by far the creepiest. Excuse me, excuse me. Okay, 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 okay. On a scale, sir, come here. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, I love you. I love you. I do. I do. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, the creep factor in this book is for sure a 15. It is so just like makes like creepy in a different kind of way, like makes your skin crawl. Like you feel like, okay, now that I've managed to resettle us comfortably, I got Poppy here now. Let me see. Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy if you're new here. I love you. Um, as I was saying, the creep factor in this book is so high. Like it gives you the heebie jeebies, like the goosebumps, the like you feel kind of dirty. I guess like like something slimy is on you after you read it. And it's called I realized I just never named the book. It's called Just Like Home. And it was recommended to me because I really love The Haunting of Hill House. And I had heard that this book sort of had similar undertones, kind of like that haunted house, family, generational trauma vibes. And it definitely has that. So the preface of it is this girl is returning to her parents' house, and her father was a notorious serial killer. And this was the house that she grew up in and the house where he killed people in. So, what I will say about it is that it was definitely scary. And when I first finished it, I really did not like the ending. And I still don't know how I completely feel about it. But after I digested it for a day or two, then I started to like it a lot more because I feel like I understand it a little bit better now that it's sort of sunk in. But it's definitely weird. It's not going to be for everybody. And like I said, it's like heebie jeebie, creepy crawly, kind of scary. So if you don't like that kind of thing, don't read it. Um, but I also will say a little bit of a trigger warning, not a little bit, definitely a trigger warning. If you are concerned at all about reading anything with like childhood abuse, and of course like serial killer stuff, it and domestic violence, it is creepy. So, anyways, new read this season, but check it out if you're interested. Want to introduce the next one? What's the next one? Next book on our list is the London Seance Society. Again, this is another book I'm starting to realize that I'm reading a lot of books lately about like female empowerment and just like tough, strong, powerful, intelligent women. But this one is based on someone who is able to, commune with the dead, who hosts seances. And it's based in London. This woman has an apprentice. It just kind of follows a story of a particular case that they're working on. Again, it's got those spooky undertones. I love the feel of Europe in the fall. I feel like that setting is so just like extra cozy, particularly London, with the kind of academia ambiance that comes with this type of read. And it's just really, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. This bird just landed on our lanai. Um, anyway, yeah, it's a good read. It's another one that I felt like was not boring. It moved at a really good pace, and I just recommend it. It's one of the ones that's made it onto my bookshelf. So. The final book on my spooky season read list is All Our Hidden Gifts. And this was one of those books where I was wandering around the library. I didn't have a set plan in mind, and the cover just captured my attention. I love the cover art. It's sort of this tarot card style, which goes with the story. It's about these four young teenagers who are, again, coming of age. They're best friends. They discover this tarot card deck in the basement of their high school. And all I will say about it afterwards is that one of them goes missing after they discover this deck. Or it might be a particular card, but I don't quite remember. But anyway, um, I really liked this because it was such a fresh and interesting take. Like I said, I feel like I read a lot of mystery books, a lot of horror kind of stories, and this was fun and different. And yes, it's more of a young adult story. So, but it didn't quite feel that way. It didn't feel too young. I feel like it'd be entertaining for any age, really, if that's what you like reading. So, anyways, it's whimsical, it's fanciful, it's about friendship. It's about, kind of like those witchy vibes. The tarot cards do play a pretty central part to the story. And this one is a series. There are several books in it. So I really enjoyed the character development and sort of the origin and the root of it all. I thought was really fascinating and interesting. So that's why it made it onto my spooky season recommendations for you. I would say spook factor level is probably like a 2, a 3 maybe. It's not scary. It's not something that I would be worried about having nightmares about at night. So it's safe for those of you who want something just with just a hint of mystery, but mostly cozy and fun. That's gonna do it for me and my spooky book recommendations for 2025. It is a nice, cozy, rainy day here, so I think I'm gonna go make some hot cocoa in my little ghosty mug and enjoy some of my Pillsbury Halloween cookies and grab my dogs and my partner and snuggle up for a just little cozy, spooky night in. I hope that you have found maybe one of your new favorite spooky season books this year from this list, or perhaps just a new fun read to enjoy with your pup or your kitty, or just by yourself if you don't have an animal with you, but maybe you'll consider adopting one from the shelter. Anyways, cheers to spooky season. Happy reading, and I will see you guys next time. Mm. This is still so good and nostalgic. Mm. Bye.